Vi ste nedavno u jednom intervjuu koji ste dali isto za srpske medije rekli da su ti ljudi koji mrze predsednika Vučića i predsednika Trampa zapravo isti. Na koga ste tačno mislili?
No, I think so. I think it's very interesting since I come here. And before I came, I was able to read up a little bit about the circumstances in Serbia. It's very clear to me that the very same people who hate President Trump are the ones who hate President Vučić. What else is very clear to me is, and I know President Trump a little bit, maybe a little bit better than a little bit, but I know in many ways, in some areas, how he is. And he's the sort of man who admires strength, toughness, and people who get things done. And I just know that President Vučić is Trump's kind of guy. That's a phrase in America. And again, as I said before, politics and government, these personal relationships cannot be dismissed. So the opportunity for the two of them to work together, I think, is very real. And Trump works better with people that he trusts, and I should say who he respects. And I think, again, that offers a great opportunity. And I think Trump would appreciate someone who sort of has the same critics and opposition. And that is another example of the sort of reality that exists today that I think likely can bring the two of those presidents and their relationships closer together. I think President Vučić and President Trump, because they're so similar, President Trump, I think, will be very interested in getting to know him and try to work together. I do think that'll be very good for both countries. Can I just add something? There's an old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I think that very much sums up some of the circumstances regarding both presidents, Trump and Vučić. The same people who hate Trump hate Vučić, so that I think is going to naturally bring them both together. And then the other thing I would say is President Trump wrote a best-selling book way before he was in politics, and it's called The Art of the Deal. He takes great pride in the fact that he had great success in business, great success in entertainment in America, and great success in politics because he is a master at the art of the deal. He's a doer. Your president is the same thing. He's a doer, and he's very successful getting things done by making the necessary deals to get things done. The two of them, I think, are made for each other, and it's my hope that moving forward, they will find each other and advance the causes of both of our countries.
Malo pre ste ispomenuli tu dobru saradnju u budućnosti Srbije i Amerike, tačnije predsednika Vučića i predsednika Trampa, i tome se svi nadamo, ali dotakli smo se i Kosova. Da li verujete da će se pronaći adekvatno rešenje i kada to otprilike možemo da očekujemo? Jer dosta je glasina kada se o tome govori.
I have high hopes that there could be a resolution that could be helpful to the Serbs who are facing the persecution right now in the northern part of Kosovo, the Kosovo Mitrovica area in particular. The Kurti government and the way it's been behaving and acting has resulted in 24 countries, independent countries, who have now said they don't recognize the independence of Kosovo. So that's a step in the right direction in terms of creating awareness around the world about what's happening to the Serbs by the Kurti government in Kosovo. These are the sorts of things that people like me need to go back to the United States and talk about to people who have a lot of influence and a lot of followers, leaders like in the media like Joe Rogan or Tucker Carlson or Megyn Kelly, Fox News, Newsmax, and some of these organizations who view politics in ways similar to the Trump administration and President Trump himself. So I think once the American people understand what's happening in Kosovo, I think there'll be a dramatic interest in doing the right thing and protecting people from being persecuted by a government that is mistreating them. So I think, too, this new beginning with President Trump in America and the fact that the Biden administration was so hostile to the Serbs and that the fact that the Biden administration was so much basically carrying the water for Kurti and the Kosovar Albanian government, basically doing whatever they want, knowing how President Trump operates, the fact that he has a great disregard for Joe Biden and his leadership, it's another opportunity that I think is right before Americans and Serbs, and that is that the President Trump's going to want to do just the opposite of what Biden did. And so I think there's a real great deal of opportunity here, and I have high hopes, very high hopes, that things can improve dramatically for the Serbs in Kosovo under the Trump administration.
To su jako lepe vesti za ceo srpski narod i svi se nadamo tom pozitivnom ishodu. Ja se nadam da ste vi svesni koliko ste bitan čovek za odnose Srbije i Amerike. Dosta se u našoj javnosti spekulisalo i govorilo o tome da ćete vi biti budući ambasador Amerike u Srbiji. Hoćete nam kažete kakve su šanse za to?
You know, ja ne znam. Some people are talking about it. But I think I can be more helpful as a private citizen in the United States, having an opportunity to get on be part of different media outlets and try to advocate or educate and raise awareness to the issues here in the Balkans, here in Serbia, and why it's important for our two countries to have better relations, and how it's good for America and good for Serbia, good for the American people, good for the Serbian people. I really think I can be so much more helpful in that role than being an ambassador. You know, and I was a young lawyer, and I was getting involved in politics in Cook County, which is Chicago, and a big city, big county. It was a lot of lawyers felt that wouldn't it be nice if I could become a judge? And it's a good living, not a lot of stress, you get authority, and you have a status in the community. But you're pretty much confined to that. There's not a lot more you can do. And I never had any interest in that. If I was going to be in politics, it was going to be to run for offices where you can actually do meaningful things. And I'm not here to dismiss judges, but it's just that it's almost too easy of a life. And I think I kind of equate ambassadorships that way. It's a nice place to retire to, but I'm not ready to retire. I have a lot of work to do to catch up for all the lost years that were taken from me by those corrupt prosecutors who did to me and my family what they did. I have a lot of catching up to do. And I just think I can serve so many better purposes by being free of the restrictions that being an ambassador would have. It's just not anything I have any interest in. There are things I'd like to do in America, like work to do something about ending the weaponization of prosecutors and basically ending the KGB Soviet-style police state politics that has happened in America today. It started with the Democratic governor when the Republicans did it to me. Then they learned from that. And a lot of the same people then did it to President Trump. So they went from a Democrat governor to a Republican president. And that's not what American politics is supposed to be. This is a real challenge and threat to our freedoms. So I think I could really be helpful on something like that. And I think being free to pick and choose issues that I think are really important to my country, like that issue of the weaponization of the criminal justice system, and being helpful because I have this unique situation where I have, in some respects, grown up in two worlds. I'm 100% Amerikanac. Moja mama je bio rođena u Ameriku, ali moj tata došao od Šumadija, velikog krčmare, i my first language was Serbian. I knew all the Serbian swear words before I knew a single word of English. But I could say, I'm not going to say it, but I could say some of those famous routine swearing phrases that the Serbs say before I could say hello. So I have that, and I love my country, America, but my heart is here in Serbia, and I feel it when I'm here. I think of my father. I can just feel him. I can almost see his footsteps in certain parts of old Belgrade. So I think I can do so much more here. And I'm so excited about the president that you have. I just met him one time. He's nice, good Pleškovica. I don't really know him. But I think you've got a president that's really, building a legacy of greatness for the Serbian people. He's bringing Serbia back. And I love President Trump, but he's going to do that in America too. I think I could play a modest role in forging ahead in these sorts of things. And so I'm interested in that, not retiring as an ambassador and having cocktail parties.
Budući da tako pozitivno gledate na odnose Srbije i Amerike, moram da vas pitam još jednu stvar, s obzirom da se dosta spekulisalo da bi upravo Srbija, tačnije Beograd, mogli da budu destinacija gde bi se sastali predsednik Trump i Putin. Jel verujete da je to moguće?
I think that's an exciting idea. And when I ask myself, can I think of a better place to bring peace to the war between Russia and Ukraine, where the leaders could meet, where Putin could feel comfortable and welcome, and Trump would be comfortable and welcome, and Zelensky could feel comfortable and welcome. I can't think of a better place than Belgrade. It would be remarkable. And President Vučić would be the host, and all of them getting together to try to end that war and bring peace. I can't think of a better place. I can't imagine Putin would have any interest in going to any Western European country. They might arrest him. So no, I think, I don't have no inside information. I don't know that it'll happen. But if anybody wants to ask me my opinion, I would certainly strongly argue and advocate that Belgrade is the perfect place for that kind of a summit.
Malo čas ste mi rekli da Trump voli jake ljude i jake lidere. Zanima me kakav je Trumpov komentar kada razgovara sa Srbima, budući da zaista znamo da su mu Srbi sada u ovoj izbornoj kampanji bili tu, da kažem, dosta su i finansirali njegovu kampanju. Kakav je njegov komentar, eto, na pomen srpskog naroda?
Well, he knows. On zna. He knows that in Europe, the Serbs were the most supportive of him than any other country. And look, I'm the same way. If people like you, you like them. And if they like you, you want to help them, if you have the ability to help them. And, if they don't like you and you think there's some reason to improve your country, you're probably less interested in whether they like what you want to do or not. I think about, for example, Greenland. And I saw a poll where the people in Denmark, I think Denmark controls Greenland, supported Kamala Harris overwhelmingly. And now President Trump's, I think, rightly saying that the United States should buy Greenland for our national security reasons, as well as for commercial reasons. It's a brilliant thought and long overdue. But I bet you he wouldn't be as interested in doing that if the people in Denmark were less hostile to him and less supportive of Kamala Harris. That's just my view. So the fact that the Serbian people love Trump, I think it means, if he knows that, and he does because I told him, and he's not surprised, he has a great deal of admiration for the Serbs. And I've heard him say it in public places, and he said it to me. Love the Serbs, they're fighters, they're tough people. He likes fighters and tough people because he's one too. So I think this is a good thing to have in our efforts to improve relations between our two countries.
Ja se nadam da ćete mu i vi preneti vaše utiske boravka u Srbiji. Za kraj želim samo da vas pitam, jeste osjetili tu dobrodošlicu srpskog naroda? Jeste zapravo osjetili koliko vas srpski narod voli?
Oh, hvala. It's heartwarming. How do you say that in Serbian? Heartwarming. Yeah, moj srce. To je tako vrlo lepo. It's so nice. And as I say, heartwarming. And I think about that, and I think of my father. And I think about my father in heaven, and I think he has a hand in some of this. And I know my father, how much he loved Serbia, and how proud he was to be Serbian. I ja kažem ovo u srpski. Moj tata bi bio puno ponosan da zna that this is happening. It would mean a lot to him. He'd be very proud of it. And I'm very grateful and feel heartwarming. And I think you know why they feel that way, if it's true? Because I think they know that I love them, because we're the same people. And my heart was broken when our country bombed Serbia, and I saw the pain in the eyes of Serbs that I saw when I was here with Jesse Jackson. Now today it's a very different Serbia, and I know there's domestic issues, as we all have in our country too. There's protests, we have them in our country too. That's what a free society does. It's an example, really, of the strength of this country, that you can have those kinds of protests. It's a good thing, shows good leadership in this country. But I'm so glad to hear that, and grateful. And this is a case not of unrequited love, it's a case of reciprocal love. If that's the case on their end, I can tell you for sure it's the case on my end. I love the Serbian people. They're my brothers and my sisters.
Hvala vam puno, gospodine Blagojeviću, na izdvojenom vremenu i bila nam je čast.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you very much.